Greetings. This is Graham Warren working with you on the base case of the hip-hop case. So you should check out the introduction and the AnyLogic model clips prior to looking at this. In essence, though, what we have is a simulation of 4 ORs comprised, 2 in each track. Track A has 2 ORs, a surgeon, an anesthesiologist, and the 2 ORs. They are served by those professionals, as well as a pool of registrars and a pool of EVS folks who prep the ORs after a surgery, readying the suite for the next patient. In the base case, we have a 10-hour workday. Folks are arriving every 90 minutes, starting at 7:30 for the first arrivals, and then 90 minutes later, we're getting the next arrivals and so forth. We're hoping to get 6 surgeries in a day. There are various parameters here, and you can see what they look like by clicking on Simulation Main and looking over these numbers. So the inter-arrival times for both tracks are 90 minutes. The registration time mean is 5 minutes with a standard deviation of 2 minutes. The prep and the sedation and the consent, all that runs 25 minutes with a standard deviation of 7.07 minutes. That's, I guess, broadly true for sedation in either track. Then the surgery time in track A is 100.71 minutes with a standard deviation of 8. Also true for, that's also true for track B. There's an anesthesiologist in track A, in track B. There's a surgeon in track A and in track B. There's 2 ORs in track A, 2 ORs in track B. There are 2 folks who clean the ORs. It takes them 15 minutes. I guess there's a standard deviation on that of 5 minutes. And there's also 2 registrars. So those are the parameters, and they fairly reflect the base case. Just want to show you 1 or 2 other things about this. When we grab a registrar here, you can see in track A, we're grabbing from this registrar pool. That's also true down here. Same thing, grab a registrar from the registrar pool. When we grab the OR in track A, we're grabbing from pool A. So this is the resource pool that we're grabbing, but there's 2 ORs there. In the B track, we want to be grabbing from pool B. When we see the anesthesiologist in track A, the person's going to come from anesthesiologists in that track. There's just 1, and in B, that person comes from the B pool, right? Then for the surgery, we're grabbing a surgeon in track B from surgeon pool B, and in track A from the other pool. And then finally, the cleaning is somebody's being grabbed from just the EVS pool, which is serving both. So I just want to confirm that. There is EVS pool there, and down here also grabbing from the EVS pool. So it looks like we're set. Let's run this thing and see what we get. Now, I want to explain these graphs. So we need to just see how they unfold. I'm going to run this relatively slowly and just explain this. Okay, so you can see a patient has come in, and they're getting sedated now. And this is tracked by what's happening with the anesthesiologists. So for the first patient, there's a little bit of registration time, and the anesthesiologist is idle. But then the anesthesiologist is involved in the sedation and then goes into the first surgery, so that the average utilization is climbing steadily toward 100% of the time, toward 100%, because it was only in the very first few minutes, the registration time of the first patient, that the person was not busy. So the sedation is underway for the first patient. The surgeon was not involved, and now the surgery kicks off, and now the surgeon's utilization is flying up because the surgeon is now in surgery. And you can see the OR was not occupied for the initial registration, but then after that, the sedation is done in the OR. and the surgery has commenced. So the first patient is going through, and let's just observe where that person is. There, the person arrived, got registered, so entered and exited, got an OR, got an anesthesiologist, went through the sedation, is currently in surgery. You can see they arrived in surgery, but they've not yet departed. It's also true for track B. Once they're done, they will reflect here with a completion time. So let me just see if I can resize this. So currently the person is in surgery here. And that's why the surgeon's time is increasing steadily. They were not involved for the sedation, but then after that. So here is a completion. You can see that person did complete the anesthesiologist was released. And that theater, that operating room is now being cleaned. Now it's complete. And the second sedation is underway here. And so what's happening so we've just had a completion in track A also. Mean flow time of 128 minutes, and track B was 107 minutes. That depends on all the distributions that were involved. Now you can see the surgeon here is having a declining utilization because that surgeon has to wait for the second patient to be sedated. So there's an idle time, and as soon as the second patient goes into surgery, and we'll observe when that happens here, they're getting sedated now. Okay. Not yet done with sedation. There it is, the second surgery starts. And so you see an uptick in the surgeon's utilization. Interestingly, the anesthesiologist absent, other than the first 5 minutes of the day, the registration period, for the first patient, the anesthesiologist is going to be working the entire day because that person has to do the sedation and also has to attend during the surgery. All right, and you can see the utilization on the operating room. So that was the end of the first surgery, and then there was a cleaning period where it was not utilized, and then the second surgery or second sedation starts, and so forth. And you can see where in the animation here, there's some folks waiting for sedation here, there's folks in surgery here, and so you can track exactly where your patients are overall in the process. All right, so we've had one completion. And you can see this in 3D as well if you wanted. I'm not going to spend much time on that because I just made these. You can see the patients are sort of standing up here as they go through their processes. These ones are waiting for sedation. But you can step through this thing, at a different speed if that's what you want to do. Just trying to resize this thing appropriately without a mouse, and it's just challenging my finger control here. So I want to make it a little smaller. Too small. All right, so what I want to do now is I want to just accelerate this thing. Well, let's go a little faster. So you can see the second completion was second flow time was a lot longer. That's also true for track B. And what's happening is the patients who come later in the day, are having to wait longer because they have patients ahead of them. So one of the things we're going to explore is maybe we should release these patients into the system at a slower rate than 90 minutes in order to bring their flow times down. Okay, so I'm going to run this thing now. So 3 surgeries are done. I don't know what the time is. We can verify what that is by looking here. So we're at 520 minutes. So we're actually coming up on 600 minutes very shortly. We've got 4 surgeries done here, 4 down there. And our day is going to expire very shortly because we only have 600 minutes. And there it is. Okay, so we only got 4 surgeries, very disturbing. And so process innovations are going to be vital here to secure some better outcomes. want to look over the results with you, just because, when you're starting to think about innovations here, it makes sense to go after the bottlenecks. The theory of constraints, is valid, and fixing bottlenecks, it will be a smart move here. So you can see the anesthesiologists are 99% utilized. The registrar pool and EVS pool are, single digits utilized. So really no pressure on these folks. In fact, you may consider only using one EVS person. I think we've got 2 registrars and 2 EVS people. Yeah, I guess 2 EVS people as well. You can see that in the parameterization here. So maybe you can get by with 1. There is not the biggest salaries here. The anesthesiologists are probably the highest paid, maybe with surgeons, close behind or maybe slightly ahead. I don't know what the current rates of pay are, but those folks are the most heavily compensated folks, typically in a workflow like this. Okay, so the bottleneck would seem to be the anesthesiologists. The ORs are about 87% utilized, and the surgeons lower than that, in the 60s. So we will now explore some innovations, and we are just going to, I'm going to look at this through the various lenses: utilization matters, pooling matters, psychology matters, and variance hurts. Try and come up with some reasonable proposals that hopefully make sense from a diversity, equity, and inclusion standpoint, from a legal standpoint, medical standpoint, and test them out, and then hopefully come back with a composite scenario at the end where I put all these changes together and see if we're able to move the chains and get 5 or 6 surgeries to go here.